Hello from Seoul. We've done so many types of beef stir fries and they've all been legendary. But if I have to pick the easiest one that you can whip up in under 15 minutes, this is it. This beef and asparagus will be the winner. Today, we're gonna be making beef and asparagus, one of the best stir-fried dishes of all time. There are so many types of beef and veggie stir-fries out there, but honestly, I don't think you'll find one that's easier than this. That's because prepping and cooking asparagus is way easier than most other vegetables. This is why I make this dish more often than any other stir-fry dish. So if you're craving something delicious but wanna keep the effort to a minimum, please give this a try. I'm sure you will absolutely love this dish. For this, you will need some beef, garlic, ginger, green onions, and asparagus. That's it. Super simple, right? But if you want to add a little spicy kick to it, then just throw in some chili peppers. What? You can't handle spicy food? Then grab a bell pepper instead. It will not only add a nice crunch, but also a beautiful pop of red color. So I highly recommend using it. First, let's prep the beef first. Cut 500 grams of beef into nice bite-sized pieces. But make sure to cut against the grain and slice it on an angle. For information, I'm using chuck flap tail today, but you can also use any cut of beef. Even cheaper cuts will work just fine because the marinade that we're gonna make later on is gonna tenderize our beef. So just use whatever cut you have. Trust me, it's all gonna taste amazing. Once that's done, transfer it to a mixing bowl. And then to that, add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of Searing wine, a quarter teaspoon of white pepper, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, a quarter teaspoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of oil, and give it a good massage. While our beef is enjoying its little vacation in the fridge, let's prep our vegetables. First, smash 5 cloves of garlic and finely chop them. Next, grab a small knob of ginger and grate it. About 2 teaspoons will be enough. And then thinly slice 2 to 3 green onions. As always, the whites are gonna be stir-fried to infuse our oil, and the greens are gonna be used for our beautiful garnish. So make sure to keep them separate, like this. Now grab a bell pepper and cut it into small pieces. I'm gonna be using about half a cup. What? Dicing a bell pepper looks kind of a hassle? Then you can totally skip it. No problem at all. But if it's your anniversary or your wife's birthday, come on. You gotta put in that extra effort. Trust me, that small touch will make your dish look like it just came out of a fancy restaurant. Now let's move on to asparagus. Take 300 grams of asparagus, trim off the ends, and cut them into bite-sized pieces. I kind of prefer slicing it diagonally because they look prettier. But if you want to keep it simple, just 2-inch pieces are totally fine. This time, let's make the sauce. In a small container, add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, half a teaspoon of dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of Searing wine, 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon powder, a quarter cup of water, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and give it a good mix. That's it. Super simple, right? But if you want to get that restaurant taste, bring that bad boy over here. MSG. And just add a pinch, but totally optional. By the way, we have all the instructions and a list of ingredients on our blog, aaronandclaire.com. So please visit here if you need a written recipe. Alright, we're all set. Let's get cooking. In a large wok or pan, add 1 tablespoon of oil and heat it over high heat. Once it gets nice and hot, add the marinated beef and spread it out evenly. And then let it sear for about 1 minute or until the bottom turns beautiful golden brown. This step is where all the magic happens. But if your wok or pan isn't hot enough, it will cause the beef to steam instead of sear, and you won't get that amazing restaurant quality flavor. So make sure you keep the high heat. Once the bottom of the beef turns a nice golden brown, flip and cook the other side for about 1 to 2 minutes. The beef doesn't need to be cooked through at this stage because we're gonna cook it again with our beautiful stir-fry sauce. So when the beef is nicely browned on both sides, just remove it from the wok and set it aside. Now in the same wok over high heat, add 2 tablespoons of oil. Once it's nice and hot, add the garlic, ginger, white parts of the green onions, and stir fry for about 1 minute to make that beautiful aromatic oil. Once your kitchen starts filling up with that incredible aroma, add the asparagus and stir fry for about 1 minute or until they are beautifully coated in that aromatic oil. Here, some of you might ask, Aaron, why didn't you just add the asparagus while cooking the beef? That looks kind of a hassle. Yes, you can do that too, but that only works if you got restaurant level stoves at home. If you cook the beef and asparagus together on a home stovetop, the temperature of the wok will drop too fast, and that's gonna cause the beef to release too much liquid. So instead of getting a nice sear, it will just steam. Also, you won't get that crisp tender bite from the asparagus. So if you really wanna have the best beef and asparagus at home, make sure to follow this step carefully. Trust me, you won't regret it. What? You wanna know this kind of tip more and more? I'm so glad you brought that up because everything you need is in these 2 books. Trust me, with these bad boys, Simply Korean and Beyond Korean, you can cook 200 East Asian dishes like Korean, Chinese, Japanese, and even Korean fusion dishes like a pro. So don't forget to check them out. The link is in the description. Once your asparagus is nicely coated in the aromatic oil, add the beef, bell pepper, sauce, and stir fry everything together for about 1 to 2 minutes. Cornstarch always sinks to the bottom, so make sure to stir the sauce before you add it in. Otherwise, you won't get that gorgeous glossy look that you're looking for. When the sauce gets thickened and everything is nicely coated, turn the heat off. And then add half a tablespoon of sesame oil and give it a final mix. That's it. Nothing complicated, right? Seriously, there's no reason not to try this at home. Alright, we're almost there. Let's transfer everything to a serving plate. And as always, finish it off with our love, green onions. How does it look? It looks absolutely fantastic, right? You wanna know how it tastes? Alright, let's call our taste tester.
Claire.
Ooh, beef and asparagus? They are one of my absolute favorites. So I'm pretty sure this dish is gonna taste amazing. Let's give it a try. 윤기가 짜르르르 흐르는 게 너무 맛있어 보인다. And it smells wonderful. Cheers. 아, 소고기가 딱 봐도 벌써 야들야들 엄청 부드러워 보여. Cheers. 언제 먹어도 맛있다. 일단 고기 자체가 너무너무 부드럽고 메리네이드가 잘 돼가지고 양념이 알맞은 게 너무 맛있다. 감칠맛 폭탄이네. 오, 진짜 맛있어. 그리고 아스파라거스도 아삭한 식감을 추가해줘가지고 너무 맛있네. 약간 멋 좀 내보려고 해서 약간 사선으로 잘랐네. 맛있다. 나는 아스파라거스를 너무 좋아해가지고 솔직히 이렇게 한입 크기로 써는 것도 좋기는 한데 왜 스테이크 먹을 때 옆에 길쭉하게 그냥 그릴에다가 막 구워가지고 주잖아. 그런 식으로 나는 볶아줘도 너무너무 맛있게 먹을 수 있을 것 같아. 하지만 한입 크기니까 편하긴 하네요. 그리고 이 소스는 항상 느끼는 거지만 약간 짭조름하면서 거기에 약간 차이니즈 샤오싱 와인이 살짝 녹아 있어가지고 뭔가 그 맛있는 향이 싹 덮여 있는 게 너무 맛있어. 샤오싱 와인을 안 써도 맛은 있지만 나는 확실히 있는 걸 더 선호하긴 하는 것 같아. 그 향긋함이 좀 한층 더 끌어올려주는 것 같아. 맛있다. 언제 먹어도 맛있다. 아, 그리고 벨페퍼도 빨간색으로 포인트를 잘 넣어줬네. 너무 예쁘다. 알록달록하니. 역시 내가 좋아하는 약간 신호등 조합이야. 빨간색, 초록색 이런 조합. 밥 위에 올려놓을게요. 침이 고이는구만. 엄마 빨리 먹고 너도 밥 줄게. 조금만 기다려. 너 30분 기다려야 돼. Cheers! 너무 맛있잖아. 밥이랑 진짜 먹으니까 만족감이 확실히 더 올라간다. 맛있네요. 맛있어. Hope you guys try and enjoy. Bye.
Today we made beef and asparagus, one of the simplest and most delicious stir fries in history. What I love about this dish is that it's easy, simple to make, and most importantly, it's made with just a handful of ingredients you probably already have. Seriously, is there even one reason not to try at home? Trust me, once you try it, you might never ever order beef stir fry from takeout restaurants again, because yours will taste so much better. Alright, this is it for today, and I'll see you next time.